Hello everyone, Carolyn here and welcome to today's tutorial. Today I will be showing you my own original design, and this is the Enchanter bracelet. It is reversible, however this is the signature side. If you would like to add bling, you would need to do it as you loom because the signature side is on the top. Or if you want bling to be on this side, you add it as we lay the bands. Okay. With all that being said, this is a 9-pin bar or 3-loom design. Your centermost pin bar is going to be closest to you, and then you're going to go up 2 staggered steps, down a staggered step, and then up a staggered step. With this bracelet, I used 5 different colors. I will be repeating that, just using different colors, and I will show you in this rendition what colors or what band placement matches the colors. Okay. So without further ado, let's get started. We're going to start with our perimeter, which is the white perimeter. I'm going to be using white again. So drop 2, and then work your way to the outermost pin, just following the loom around. If I can get one on there. And then up. I'm repeating the same thing on the opposite side, just mirror image. So up at an angle twice, down at an angle once, and then up at an angle. If you are going to be making a full wrap, on my first rendition I did 21 gaps. Now if you've watched any of my designs, you know that I like them rather tight. So as you can see, it is kind of tight. So if you need to adjust accordingly, hopefully that is enough information for you to gauge how many gaps you need to go. I like 21. But that's just me. Alright, so just continue going straight up your loom on either side until you reach the amount of gaps that you would like, and I'll meet you back at the top so we can close it off. Be right back. Alright everybody, so I've made it to the top of my loom and we're ready to close it off. And what we're simply going to do on the left side, up at an angle, down at an angle, and then up twice at an angle. Once, and then twice, and then we're going to repeat that same thing on the opposite side. So up at an angle, down at an angle, up at an angle, and then up at an angle. And now we are ready for our next band placement step. In this bracelet, it is the pink that you see going down the center, and that's the fairy pink, I do believe. I'm going to be using red, and we're going to be working with the 4th and the 6th pin bar, and what we're simply going to do is make a long stretch, a single chain all the way up. Now please use good quality bands because we will be doing some unique looping with these, and actually most of the bands, so please use good quality bands or stretchy bands. I hate for you to be looming and then they break on you. So okie dokie. So just continue this. Oh, it's gonna bug me. Continue this all the way up your loom till you get to the end, and I'll be right back to show you our next band placement. Alright everybody, I'm back, and so our next band placement step is going to be the green sweets that you see going down the center right there. Okay, and I'm going to be using opaque orange. And what we're going to do is work with the 4th, 5th, and 6th pin bar, and we're going to go at a diagonal from the 4th to the 5th, straight up, and then diagonally again, and then we're going to repeat that up the loom. So to the right, forward, to the right, to the right, forward. That's going to drive me nuts. Come on, straighten out. Okay, and then to the right again. One more time, and then I'm going to go off and finish it up. To the right, forward, and then to the right again. Okay, so finish that up the rest of the way up your loom, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I'm back, and so I made it to the top of my loom. And when you get to the top, you just want to do a single band going straight forward, connecting the bands that you just placed with the border. And so now we're ready for our next band placement step. And in this rendition, it is the purple that you see going along the center right there, the sweets. Alright, and what we're going to do is work again with the 4th, 5th, and 6th pin bars, but this time we're going to be doing a V, and after you finish that one, you go up to the next one and do another V. So again, easy steps, easy peasy steps. Oh, come on, get off of there. Do 1 or 2 more with you, and then I'm going to go off and finish that up. So up at an angle, and then go up 1, up at an angle, up at an angle. Angle, angle. Alright guys, so just continue that the rest of the way up the loom. I'm going to finish mine up and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I'm back, and up here at the top, just so you know, you do need to make a V here. Okay, so now we are ready for our next band placement step. We are going to be working with the 3rd, 4th, 6th, and 7th pin bars. And in this bracelet, it is the fairy blue that you see going along right here. Okay, I'm going to be using red opaque. And what you're simply going to do is create a zigzag up the loom, alternating back and forth between that 3rd and 4th pin bar all the way up. Easy peasy. Okay. It's going to be the last one for this side. And that one and that one. And you're going to do the same thing, just mirror image on the opposite side. So try your zigzag by going down or up, however you lay. And then just alternating back and forth, working your way up the loom. 1 please. Thank you. Dropping bands everywhere. Alright guys, so here's where I'm going to leave you off. Continue to do that for the rest of the way up, and I'll be back in just a second. Alright everybody, I'm back, and so we're ready for our next band placement step, which in this rendition will be the white. We're going to be working with the 3rd and the 7th pin bar. I'll be using white again, and you're simply just going to make a single chain all the way up your loom. And then again on the right hand side, just making that single chain all the way up the 7th pin bar, pressing your bands down as you go. I would recommend that highly. Alright, so here's where I'm going to leave you off. Just continue that for the rest of the way up your loom, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I'm back, and so we're ready for our next band placement step. We're going to be working on the 2nd, 3rd, 7th, and 8th pin bar, and we're going to be using 2 different colors, alternating them up our loom. And in this bracelet, it is the purple and green that you see right here going down the edges. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so you want to take your first color, which in this bracelet will be the purple. That's where that's going to be going, and go straight forward with it. Then you're going to take your secondary color, which is your green, and then you're going to go down at an angle and up at an angle. And then you're simply going to repeat that up your loom. So forward with your first color. Got a hair on my hand, driving me crazy. And then down at an angle, then up at an angle, and then forward with your next color, and then down at an angle, and then up at an angle. Forward, secondary color, down at an angle, forward. I'll show you one more time, and then I'm going to hop over to the other side. Forward with your first color, your secondary color, down at an angle, and then up at an angle. Okay, so that's the process on that side. And for an opposite side, same thing, just mirror imaged. So on the 8th pin bar, forward, and then down at an angle, and then up at an angle. First color, forward, down at an angle, up at an angle. And our next color in forward, and down at an angle, up at an angle, forward with our first color, then down at an angle, up at an angle. Alright, this is the last time I'm going to show you on this one, and then I'm going to leave you to finish up. It's an easy sequence once you get the hang of it. So forward, down at an angle, up at an angle. Okay, so repeat that for the remaining of your loom, and I'll be right back for our next band placement step. Alright everybody, I'm back. So at the top of your loom on the last step, you're just going to end by simply going forward on both sides. Okay, so now we are ready for our next band placement step. On this bracelet, it is the pink sweets that you see going down the edges right here. And I'm going to be using the medieval red. And what we're going to do is work with the first, second, and 8th and 9th pin bar. And from the first to the second, a short stretch. And then come back with a long stretch from the second to the first, or the first to the second, however you prefer to lay. And that's not going to lay right. Got my OCD kicked off already. And then again, another short stretch, long stretch, and just repeat that process all the way up your loom. So short stretch, long stretch, kind of pushing them down. Come on, fiddle with that later. And then a long stretch. One more time on this side, and then I'm going to hop over and show you the other side. Short stretch, and then a long stretch. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing, just mirror image on the opposite side. If I can get a band that's going to lay right. So short stretch, and a long stretch between the 8th and the 9th pin bars. Short stretch diagonally, long stretch up diagonally, short stretch across, crossing that with the long stretch, and just repeating that all the way up your loom. Easy peasy. Okay. Alright guys, so I'm going to leave you here. Just continue to do that the rest of the way up the loom. We've got one more band placement step, and then we're ready to start looming. So I'll be right back with our next step. Alright everybody, I'm back, and you may have noticed I changed the color up. I didn't like the way it was looking, and so I changed it to the sun-kissed orange, so please don't be confused. But we're ready for our next band placement step, and in this rendition it is the blue sweets that you see going along the sides. And now I'll be using the medieval red again, and you're simply just going to go along the original border again, all the way to the side, and then all the way up, and then again on the right hand side, just work your way to the edge, and then all the way up, if I can get the bands to cooperate. And so you continue all the way up following that original perimeter, and then just follow it in to the center on both sides. Okay, I'm going to finish mine up, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, so hopefully you've made it to the top of your loom, following it around to the top on either side. Now we can turn it around. You need to place a capping band on your centermost pin bar. I like the triple cap. And now we are ready to start looming. And our first step is going to be to loom out that, excuse me, loom out the secondary border that we laid. So just pulling all of those back to their corresponding home post to the outside. And then just working our way up the loom, chaining that secondary perimeter all the way up. Okay. You want to do the same thing on the right side, just mirror image. So go in, pull to the right, pull to the right again, down to the right, up to the right if I can grab it, and then straight forward all the way up. Now get in there. All the way up. Okay, and then once you get to the top on the left side, you're just simply going to follow it back around to the center, and on the right side, same thing, just follow it back around to the center, and then I'll be back and I'll show you our next looming step. Be right back. Alright everybody, I'm back, and hopefully your loom looks like this all the way to the top, having closed up that secondary perimeter by following it to the center. Okay, and now we are ready for our next looming step. We're going to be working with the 1st, 2nd, 8th, and 9th pin bars. What we're going to do on the left hand side is go into the 1st pin bar and pull this band back down to itself, and then go down 1 peg and pull this one up to itself. Okay. So again, always pulling from the 1st pin bar, pulling to the 2nd, down, and then up, down, and then up, and then down, and then up. Okay, same thing, mirror image on the opposite side. So go into the 9th pin bar, bring your short band down first, go down a pin bar, a peg, and then go pull it up to its back to itself. So down, up, down, up, down, up. Always returning to the home pin bar. Nothing fancy on that. Okay, so I'm going to let you finish that up, and I'll be right back with our next step. Alright everybody, I'm back, and so I hope your loom looks like that. Kinda, I know it's sitting sideways and zoomed in, but I wanted you to be able to see our next step kind of up close. What we're going to be doing is the looming roach step, pulling these bottom bands up over the peg. On the 1st peg, since there's only one on the bottom, we will only carry over that bottom one. So take it and lift it up and over. Now the remaining ones all the way to the top that have 4 on each peg, you're going to take the bottom 2 and lift them up and over. Sorry guys, it's like an earthquake. Okay, bottom 2 up and over. Bottom 2 up and over. Bottom 2 up and over. Okay, so that's what you're going to do on the left side. Ooh, I'm sorry, I was off screen. Let me do a couple more on. So bottom 2, 2 up and over. Bottom 2 up and over. Last one on this side. Bottom 2 up and over. Okay, and you want to do the same thing on the opposite side. See if I can get it where you can see it. Okay, so again, the bottommost only has 2 bands, so we're only going to lift over the bottom one. So the first one up and over, and then the next one will be the bottom 2. So the bottom 2 up and over. bottom 2, up and over. A couple more times and I'm going to leave you so I can finish mine up, and then I'll be back. But you want to pull the bottom 2 most bands. If it has 4, if it only has 1, you only want to pull the bottom most band. Okay? So I think I've done enough. If you still need to go back and watch, just please rewind and catch back up with us, and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I'm back and we're ready for our next looming step. We're going to be working with the 2nd, 3rd, 7th, and 8th pin bars. And what we're going to do is always pulling from the 2nd and the 8th, taking inward. Okay? So we're going to go into the 2nd, go up a pin from your border, and grab your diagonal bands and pull each one of them back to their corresponding home post. And then you're going to grab your straight forward band, and it's kind of tricky, so please watch. You're going to loop it around that first one as if you were just going to take it straight up, but you're also going to loop it up around the 2nd pin as well. Okay, so that's going to be our pattern. We're going to go up a peg, pull down to the right, up to the right, and then we're going to go backward a peg to pick up that last straight band and loop it up and around those 2 pin bars. We're going to move a pin bar up, or peg bar, or peg, excuse me, down into the right, up into the right, then move back a peg, grab your straight forward band and wrap it around those 2 pegs. Move up a peg, down a peg, or down to the right, sorry, up to the right, then move back down a peg, grab that band, and up around those 2 pegs. Up a peg, pulling from the 2nd to the 3rd, down to the right, up to the right, and up and around those 2 pin bars. Moving up a peg, down to the right, up to the right, back down a peg, grabbing that band and looping it around those 2 pin bars. And I'm totally off screen, sorry guys. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time with you, and then I'll show you the right hand side. So you're going to go in to the 2nd pin bar, grab your band, pull it down to the right, up to the right, move down a peg, pull that band up and over those 2 pegs. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing, just mirror image on the right, pulling from the 8th pin bar, going up to your diagonal bands, and you're going to pull both of them back to their corresponding home post, and then you're going to go down a peg and pull your straight band up and around those 2 pegs. So going up a peg to your diagonals, pulling them back to their corresponding home post, and then going back down a peg and grabbing that band and pulling it up and around those 2 pegs. Okay, and then you're going to go up, pull those back to their corresponding home post, go back down, pull this one up and around those 2. Go up to the diagonals, pull them back, go down a peg, grab your straight forward band, and loop it around those 2 pegs. A couple more times and then I'm going to leave you. So go up a peg, bring the diagonals back to their corresponding home post, then go down a peg from where you were just working, grab the straight forward band and loop it up and around those 2 pegs. Okay, last time on this side, guys. Pull your diagonal bands back down to themselves, go back down a peg, grab your straight forward band and wrap it around those 2 pegs. Okay, so just repeat that process for for the remainder of your loom. I'm going to finish mine up and I'll be right back for our next looming step. Alright everybody, I'm back and I've made my way to the top of the loom, and you will notice up here, if you did it correctly, your last band should simply go forward to close up that stitch on either side. If you did not have a band from here to here, please go back and check, because somewhere you either excuse me, either you didn't loop one properly or something is amiss somewhere, because your last one should be around around that peg. Okay, just trying to make sure you got it. Alright, so our next step is going to be a lot easier than the last. We're going to be working with the 3rd and the 7th pin bar, and we're going to be looming the single chain, but we are not going to loom it straight forward. We are going to be looming it up at an angle to the right, just like so. So you go into the 3rd, grab your single chain band, whatever your corresponding color is, and lift it up and to the right. And repeat that for the remainder of your loom, just up and to the right. Do one more with you on this side, and then I'm going to hop over and show you the right side. Okay, so again, go in, grab your chain, whatever color corresponds with your chain, and just loom it up and to the left on the right. All the way up. Now y'all see why I said please use good quality bands, because even though it looks like it wouldn't be a stretchy, oh yeah, it's a stretch. Okay, so just continue that for the remainder of your loom. I'm going to finish mine up. I'll be right back and we'll move on to our next step. Alright everybody, so I hope your loom looks like this thus far, all the way to the top. And we are ready for our next looming step. We are again working with the 3rd, 4th, 6th, and 7th pin bars. We're going to be looping the zigzag. So you're just going to go in and simply loom each one of these back upon themselves. Easy peasy, nothing hard about that one. So just loom the single chain just like you usually would, all the way up, alternating back and forth. Do 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 do. Okie dokie. Do one more set with you, and then I'm gonna hop over to the other side and show you on that one, and then I'm gonna go off and finish up. Okay, so again, coming back down to the border, the perimeter, and just looming that zigzag back upon itself. Easy peasy on that step. If you can pick up the right band. Okay. Show you a couple more and then I'm going to go off. Almost thought I didn't have the right one for a second there, but it was. Okay guys, so here's where I'm going to leave you off. Just continue that for the remainder of your loom. I'm going to finish mine up and I'll be right back with our next step. Alright everybody, I'm back and we're ready for our next looming step. We're going to be working with the 4th, 5th, and 6th pin bars. And what we're going to do is go into your border and grab your, at this point it's the arrow shape bands, and we're going to loop it up to the next pin, but also back to the pin where it originated from. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. So go in and take it across those two pins, and then we're going to do the same thing all the way up. So go in, grab that band, and loop it around those two pins. all the way up, in around those 2 pins, forward, and then back around the home pin, forward and back around the home pin. Okay, forward, back around the home pin. Last time on this side, forward and back around the home pin. And now we're going to do the same thing, just mirror image, just like we did on the first one. Go in, grab it, excuse me, go forward and back around to the home pin. And repeat that all the way up your loom. So go in, grab that diagonal band, go forward and back around the home pin. All the way up. Alright guys, so I'm going to leave you off. I think I've done enough where you can rewind and review if you need to. I'm going to finish mine up and I'll be right back. Alright everybody, I'm back, and so hopefully your loom looks like this all the way to the top. So now we are ready for our next looming step. We are going to be working with the 4th, 5th, and 6th pin bars, looping the remaining bands on these pin bars. Okay, and here's how we're going to begin. We're going to go into the 5th pin bar and grab that vertical band and loop it to itself. Then we're going to go into that same pin bar we just looped that band on and pull the remaining bands back to themselves. Okay, but before we go to the next section, we're going to come to the 4th and the 6th pin bars and pull this band up at a stretch to there. Okay, and now that we've looped these bands up, we are ready to loop our next set of 3. So we go to the left, straight forward, and then to the right. Now we have to go back and loop out our remaining straightforward bands. So up at a long stretch on either side, and then we go back to the set of 3. Your first band should be going to the left, and then forward, and then to the right. And now we go back and we work our long stretches from our single chain bands that we laid on the 4th and the 6th pin bar, looping them to the 5th, excuse me, and then we loop out our remaining 3 that's in the center. Okay, we'll do this a couple more times with you and then I'm going to go off. So we go back and we grab that single chain and bring it up to the 5th, up at an angle, and we loop out our 3. If I can get them, there we go. Okay, and now you go back a pin bar and loop to the inside. Okay, let me get back on screen a little bit so you can see better. Okay, so you're going to go in, loop out your 3. A lot of tension, so be careful when you're pulling on them. Forward, to the right, and then go back in and pick up your single chains and bring them to the center. Okay, I'm going to do it one more time with you guys and then I'm going to leave you. I think I've done enough after this that you can rewind if you're still confused. So we go into the set of 3, grab the topmost, which will be going to the left, pull that back to its pin bar, forward, and then to the right, and then you're going to go back a pin bar, a peg, and grab your single chain and bring it up to the center. Okay, and that's very important that you don't forget to bring it up, because that's what's going to cinch everything up, and then your next one cinches this up. So okay, if you're confused, please rewind, and I'm going to finish mine up, and then the next step is our border, and then we're all done. So I'll be right back. Alright everybody, and I hope your loom looks like this to the top. That's how it should look like up there. Alright guys, we're almost done. Yay! Okay, so now it's time for the border. Simple border, nothing fancy schmancy about it. Just going in and pulling each one of the bands back to their corresponding home post. All the way around to the side, and then up. Okay, and same thing, mirror image on the right. Just pulling each one of those back to their corresponding home post. And then working your way all the way up. So just finish that up to the top. I'm going to finish mine up and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I've made it to the top of my loom, and to close it off, we're just simply going to continue along, picking up just the perimeter and bringing it back to its corresponding home post. Some of these at the top have quite a bit of tension, just because of the amount of bands that are on them. So please be careful not to snap it. If you have to relieve it, just go ahead and do so. Okay. Once you worked your way from one side to the center, you just simply do the opposite side, mirror imaging what you just did. Working your way to the top. Okay guys, we're almost done. All we gotta do now is close it off and pull it off the loom. I really hope this color combination turns out good. I'm kind of iffy about it. But I do that a lot. Change my mind. Okay, now all loomed up. Now we just have to take it off. I would highly recommend, due to the tension, that you do not rip it off. Please take the time and take it off peg by peg, starting with the outside and just popping it off, working your way from the outer pins to the inside. I'm going to go off and finish this up, and I'll be back with our finished bracelet. Alright everybody, so I've gotten it off of the loom, and hopefully your Enchanter bracelet looks just like this. You can clean it up a little bit by moving these bands closer towards the center so you can see more of the diagonal bands that you pulled, and on that side it's the straight bands. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial on the Enchanter bracelet. If you have, please give this video a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe by hitting the little red button below. And if you have any comments, please feel free to share them with me. And that's it for today. Thanks everybody. Loom on. Bye-bye.